input to board policy number 23, public comment per person. All speakers would like to comment regarding the matter on the agenda must submit a public comment card to the board president or report secretary prior to the agenda item. All public comment cards are available at the information table in the middle of the theater or from the report secretary. All right, we are adjourning closed session.
Okay.
We are reconvening to public session. And we have done our roll call, so we're going to do Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Buffalo, would you lead us?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So at 8.1 is our approval of the agenda. We have a request to move okay, so Mr. Petzold.
Leave before the budget news because we sympathize with you, but certainly we don't want to have to sit through that and the other reports, but it's up to the discretion of the trustees. We understand that. Leave it to your discretion. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, board. Would we like to approve of the agenda order, or are we looking at moving the 14.1 up to come right after 10.1? So we need a motion to adopt the agendas second.
Madam President, if you could pull the mic just a little bit closer.
Oh, I'm so sorry. This is as amended. Motion? Mr. Buffalo, second.
Second.
Ms. Gaines?
Discussion.
Discussion? Sir, please turn on your microphone.
Yes, thank you. We do not have that many items before we get to 14.1. And we have presentations, and other items that need to be discussed. It won't be that long until we get to that item. So I suggest we stay with the same agenda.
The vote? All those in favor? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. please.
Student trustee Rivera,
I approve.
trustee Gaines, trustee Reeves, trustee Buffalo, trustee Harvey. Motion passes.
I'd like to protest this action. Why should two white supremacist outsiders come in and dictate
Point of
the
order,
agenda
sir.
to this
Been
company?
recognized by the
This is
board.
not-
No.
Sir, you have not been recognized by the board. Thank you.
We are now to 11 point, oh, I'm so sorry, 9.1, report of closed session, and there is nothing to report out. 10.1 is public comment announcement. And pursuant to board policy number 2350, public comment may be limited to 3 minutes per person. All speakers who would like to comment regarding a matter on the closed session agenda must submit a public comment card to the board president or recording secretary prior to the point in the meeting at which the agenda item is called. Public comment cards are available at the information table in the middle of the theater or from the recording secretary or online. Rochelle Hightower.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here tonight, exactly 1 year ago tomorrow. I stood before this board asking for you to hear a whistleblower complaint of discrimination because my boss at the time, Dean Riley Dwyer, had called or indicated that I and my staff were slaves by saying, how many masters do we need? I filed that. It's been 1 year. No investigation has happened. According to AP and BP 7700, it is supposed to be heard and interviewed by the board president because I named President Zealot in the complaint. That was not done. I know tonight is your first night as board president serving a meeting. Congratulations. And I'm asking that you uphold what the board policies and procedures, administrative policies and procedures state that should happen. I'm aware that the educational master plan name was changed, the educational service plan, because of the negative connotation of the word master. It's interesting to me that a guiding document for the campus had the name changed because of the negative connotation, but it wasn't negative enough to hear a whistleblower complaint that is supposed to be done timely. After I had that complaint made here at the board, I then was retaliated against with my personnel time shown to an employee who had no right and no need to know. I was then suggested that I was in a relationship that was LGBTQIA with this employee and that I and my cohabitant had a lot of the same time off. I was then told if that had been the case, I would have been outed, which is illegal to do at work. I'm asking that this board uphold what its rules are, uphold what the policies are. I filed a complaint, which is Title IX. That is supposed to be reported to the Chancellor's office. To date, I have not received any communication that that has been done, nor have I received communication back that the investigation for the complaint that I submitted has been completed for that case. And neither have I been interviewed for the complaint that I submitted here a year ago, which is very untimely. And I'm asking that action be taken. Thank you.
Steve Petrel.
Is there a timer light or how do you, I'm looking. Oh, okay. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for the warm welcome we've received here. Given the topic which I brought to the attention of the Board of Trustees, and there's been nothing but class here. We were greeted when we came in, and I want to thank the college for that because it's not something I'm used to going to public agency meetings. I did want to talk to you a little bit about an item of concern to me, and that's the recruitment of the Santa Clarita Community College District of students out of the Antelope Valley. And that's been an issue of concern to me for a long time because I'm a firm believer that a community college district should first of all concentrate on the people and the students who live in that district. And what I've learned over time living up in Santa Clarita is that is not the view of the chancellor up there, nor the trustees. And as I noted, and I think I sent to you in several messages, was that they are actively recruiting students out of the Antelope Valley to come to the Santa Clarita Community College District. That costs you money. I don't know if you're aware of it or whether there's agreement between your college that they can recruit here and you can recruit there. I haven't seen any Antelope Valley people up in Santa Clarita, but I feel that that hurts the taxpayers. It hurts the people here in the Antelope Valley. When we take a student out of the Antelope Valley, out of Vasquez High, out of, I think I mentioned that they had a bus of elementary school students coming out of Quail Valley or something like that in Phelan. I see their buses on our campus. And I think that there should be a memorandum of understanding between you and the Santa Clarita Community College District that they will not recruit in your district and you won't recruit in their district. And that's just my feeling. I feel that these districts have gone literally worldwide. Santa Clarita Community College District sends recruiters to Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, People's Republic of China, Taiwan, all these countries, even Qatar, United Arab Emirates, they are all over the world. They are spending money to recruit. They are up to 200 students, and their goal is to go over 400. And they're public about it. So I don't know if you recruit internationally, but I know that Santa Clarita Community College District is, and they are recruiting in your district. So I would ask you to ask the chancellor, say your name, superintendent, the president of the Antelope Valley Community College District, get on the phone with Diane Van Hook and say, stop sending your buses down to our district to pull our students and send them to you. It costs you money. It costs your taxpayers money. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Eugene Fernandez. There are two comment cards, 10.1, 10.2.
One on agendized and one not agendized.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Down with Zionism. I want to correct several points that were made in the newspaper article regarding the Hamas attack on October 7th. There was no beheading of children. There was no rape of Israeli women. Those are just Israeli.
Mr. Hernandez, and Mr. Petzold, hold on.
Hey,
You're not,
supposed to interrupt me.
Mr.
Point of order. Excuse me.
Point of order.
Could we get security? I'm not having it.
You're,
Mr. Hernandez,
Mr. Petzold, it is unlawful to disrupt a public meeting. Mr. Hernandez, stop addressing him, first of all. You're speaking to the board. Members of the public, if you are not recognized by the chair, you will be asked to leave the board meeting. Mr. Petzold, you had your 3 minutes to speak. Mr. Petzold, you're being disruptive. You have not been recognized by the chair. You know the rules. Mr. Petzold. Okay, the board president has asked that Mr. Petzold be asked to leave
yes,
the
we will have order at this board meeting.
You're disrupting the board meeting, Mr. Petzold. You've been asked to leave. Mr. Petzold, that's disruptive as well. It is disruptive. No one else is standing in the meeting other than the person who's speaking at the podium. Mr. Petzold, there are hundreds of chairs in this auditorium. You are welcome to sit in one. If you're going to stand and be disruptive, you're not welcome to do so, sir. So, No, that's not a seat. Please remove Mr. Petzold from the auditorium. The president of the board has spoken. Madam President, you have the right as the president of the board to temporarily postpone the proceedings of the meeting until the disruptive party is removed. I would,
And this meeting is temporarily postponed. We will have order and respect for everyone. If we cannot do that, you will be removed from this auditorium. Everyone has a right to speak here. Everyone. No, that's unacceptable. This meeting is temporarily halted.
or should also move from the dais at this time. Audio visual, if you could cut the mics as well, please. Thank you.
Yes, we're resuming our meeting. I want to be clear about public comments. The person who is at the microphone is the person who is allowed to speak. We want to make sure that everyone is heard and everyone can say what they need to say. We were in the middle of comments from Mr. Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez, if you could come back to the podium.
Madam President, given that Mr. Hernandez was disrupted almost immediately, it's only reasonable and fair to allow him his full 3 minutes. We had gone about 20 seconds or so,
Okay.
but he should be allowed his 3 minutes. But also, Mr. Hernandez, I want to make sure that as you speak, that you understand that public comment on the board's agenda or not, right now you're speaking on an agendized item. Which item are you here to speak on? On a non-agendized item. Okay, it has to be regarding something that is within the board's jurisdiction, not just general commentary about what's happening in our society. So unless the board has jurisdiction over the subject matter that you intend to talk about, it would not be appropriate to engage in discussion with this body about something that is not within the jurisdiction of Antelope Valley Community College. And if that is the case, you can speak for up to 3 minutes. If it's not the case, then I, at the board's discretion, will ask you to discontinue speaking.
Is within the jurisdiction of.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
14.1, it's on the agenda.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yes.
The other thing is when you're speaking, this is not a rally or it's not something to, it's a professional board meeting. This is the board's meeting in public. We are not here to have people incited or to have what took place earlier to happen again. And so we ask that you, maintain whatever is as empathic as you may want to be about whatever you're going to speak about, that you not do so in a manner that will incite others as we say. Okay, thank you. And we're starting over. Your time starts over. You got 3 minutes.
Okay, as I was saying, the newspaper articles were incorrect. 1,400 people were allegedly killed during Hamas October 7th. But what is not said is that most of those people were killed by Apache helicopters of Israel, shooting into a concert crowd, causing many of the casualties. Furthermore, the power play between Israel and Hamas and the Palestinian people is unfair. Even if it was 1,400 people killed, it doesn't justify ongoing killings of 24,000 Palestinian babies and women. There's over 2,000 children without their limbs. Parents have to go with a garbage bag to pick up the remains of their kids. Palestinian children writing their names on their arms because that's the only thing going to be left of this relentless bombing by Israel. It is a total massacre occurring under our eyes and with our bombs and support from President Biden. It's a total catastrophe. And I ask that you take that into account when you hear the Zionists talk. Sorry. But I want to caution that Zionists have forced the resignation of the first Black president, female Black president of Harvard College, because in their estimation, she was not sufficiently supportive of Israel. Zionists also forced the resignation Penn State University president with the help of the Jewish governor. So I think that their influence is very destructive to the United States policy. And I just wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
We are now moving to public hearing. We will now conduct a public hearing to receive input on initial proposal of the Antelope Valley Community College District, AVCCD, to the Antelope Valley Federation of Classified Employees, AVCFCE, for negotiations during spring of 2024. Is there any discussion on this item? Hearing no further discussion, the public hearing is now closed. We will now conduct a public hearing to receive input on initial proposal of the Antelope Valley Community College District, AVCCD, to the Antelope Valley Federation of Teachers, AVCFT, for negotiations during spring of 2024. Is there any discussion on this item? Hearing no further discussion, the public hearing is now closed. Fourteen point one. We're moving to our public comment cards. L. Huntsman.
Good evening, trustees. I'm here representing our academic senate. It would be a very strange thing for us if you were to approve the resolution, because it runs against the whole idea of the freedom of our conscience and of our expression to force an employee to sign a resolution, whether or not we agree with the resolution, is immaterial. The issue is having the board force an employee to sign a document is, I don't really know. I don't have the full words for it. It's unconscionable in my opinion. So I strongly urge you to vote against the resolution.
Eugene Hernandez. Okay. David Paul.
President Harvey, Board, Superintendent Zealot, good evening. I came tonight because I didn't have anything to do, and I'm glad I came. You know, I've heard some things here tonight that just drive home to me how far we have to go. And I can't imagine anyone having a belief in a God or a higher power that would make a distinction between a Palestinian child and an Israeli child. We live in a society where war is glorified and it seems to be the go-to solution. And I'm of the belief that we have to get to a better place. But, you know, the thing that I heard originally was that it has to pertain to college business. And I'm not sure what a item like this having to call balls and strikes on Hamas and Israel has to do with the college. It seems like you don't have any control over that, and why is this even before you? But I'm here to learn and to understand and to see how this all works out. You know, we should be for peace and love and harmony, and if you want to be against something, be against war and killing and deprivation and all the things in this world that we need to fix. So I'll wait and see what you guys decide or how you handle this. And it'll be instructional for me because I will have learned something about how this institution operates and how opposition to things that go on in our world is also managed. So thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I do appreciate you all. Thank you.
Jerry Cook.
Thank you, Board, for the opportunity to address you tonight. My name is Jerry Cook, and I'm an Acton resident and currently the pastor of Freedom's Way Baptist Church in Santa Clarita for the last 22 years. I'm here to strongly encourage this esteemed board to stand against terrorism by signing on with the Universities United Against Terrorism. The statement says, in part, that, quote, Hamas is a terrorist organization and the Palestinian people are not represented properly by Hamas. In fact, they are being harmed by Hamas. Since the October 7th attack on Israel by Hamas, over 70% of those killed were civilians, and over 31 American citizens have died in Israel since October 7th. In response to the October 7th attacks, Israel has rightly defended herself by declaring war on Hamas. Also, in light of the appalling testimonies we heard several weeks ago from university presidents before Congress, where questions regarding whether or not genocide of the Jewish people would be tolerated language on college campuses, it is both imperative and morally incumbent for the board of the Antelope Valley College to stand on the side of righteousness and moral clarity than on the side of moral uncertainty. I'm therefore encouraging this esteemed board to join in with other places of higher education who have chosen the right side of history by pledging to stand against terrorism and to pledge this institution's agreement with Universities United Against Terrorism. I want to thank you again for your time.
I believe this name is Safa Ansari. Ansari.
Board, I am a current student at ABC. So I am speaking as a student, and this is regarding the agenda 14.1 for Dr. Jennifer Zealot to sign the statement in support of Israel against Hamas. So I'm here to just discuss. My comment regarding this is to relate the detriments of instructing this request. Firstly, this request would have an increase in censorship in the college overall. Implementing the request would lead to a widespread of censorship, suppressing the voices of students, whilst leaving greater censorship regarding to any aspects of this issue. This increase in censorship would be detrimental to the college and to districts and to overall students and suppressing their voice and their own choices and decisions. Additionally, this isn't in favor for our student body. I would say this is inconsiderate to the student body to sign something, and especially instruct a person to sign something that would go against free speech and go against any lines of morality and go against people's morality and lines of what they would like to establish. Lastly, I would like to bring up that this is a hypocritical request. It's a hypocritical request because the main point of this is is to be for Israel, declaring Hamas as a terrorist organization. To do this would be hypocritical because it is neglecting of what acts Israel is committing. I do not disregard of what happened on October 7th, nor do I disregard what happened on October 7th and continuing. There is currently 23,084 lives being persecuted right now and killed, 2.3 million being persecuted in the Gaza Strip. Bring it up. Thank you. Sorry. My main point across is that if this request, so all in all, having a government does not lessen the atrocities of what Israel is doing. Should you proceed with the request, then you must consider the same with Israel and instruct the labeling of Israel. I think it's working now. Should you proceed with this request, I implore you that you must, having to be a just and fair board, would have to pursue requesting and signing Israel as a terrorist organization. But overall, this is mainly for the support and betterment of the students and district, and especially considering the students and faculty going away from censorship and going towards having freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and freedom of standing and bearing our lines of morality. Thank you. That's all.
All right, so now we're to discussion. Motion. Discuss. Was it-
In a second.
You can put your mic. Sorry.
Trustees decline this request. 14 point.
We have a motion, a second. That's correct.
Okay, the agenda item, was directing the board to, having the board direct Dr. Zealot to, sign a statement of support for Israel against Hamas. So at this point, appropriate motion would be to move to get it on the floor, and then the board members are free to vote yay or nay, yes or no, on the matter. So, as well as comments.
Right.
So you want to have a motion to get it on the floor, and then a second, and then discussion, and then vote your desire.
Mr. Buffalo, do you want to give us those motions?
So move.
Okay, so without a lack of a second, then the motion fails, and then we move on to item 14.2.
All right. 10.2, consideration of.
We're going to go back. I'm sorry, that was my bad to say 14.2. Now we go back to the original order of the agenda. Ms. Harvey, my apology.
Yes, and before we get to presentations, just as board president, I'm going to say that we are a nonpartisan entity and that we support all students here at Antelope Valley College. We have MGI advocacy at 12.1 with the presentation.
Thank you, Board Chair and members, President Zealot. I have a PowerPoint presentation as well. I'm going to be going over what to expect this year. Should I pick it up? Oh, okay, perfect. Okay. Mark McDonald, MGI Advocacy. I am your advocate in Sacramento. I'm working on state budget and policy issues. I'm here today to tell you a little bit about last year, but mostly focus on what we think we're going to see in the year coming forward. So just to give you a overview of the budget calendar, the governor is going to introduce his January budget Governor, the governor will introduce his January budget later this week on Wednesday, on January 10th. Then there will be committee hearings February to May. And I'm going to talk a little bit about it coming up, but the May revision will come out May 15th. And that's when I think we're really going to know what the economic picture of California will look like. Just given the volatility of the markets lately. And then there'll be a legislative vote on the budget on June 15th. At the same time, there will be a policy schedule. There will be hundreds of bills introduced. I'm going to talk about one that was just introduced recently that is of major interest coming up. But those will go through the legislative process, and they will all have to be to the governor by August. And then he will have about a month to sign or veto those bills. And literally there are hundreds of bills introduced every year that address community college issues. So looking forward to next year, I think it's important to note that last year there was an 8.22% COLA that was given to community colleges. But I will note that about 42% of that COLA was one-time money, and that's not common. So given even in the fiscal situation that we're in, the governor in a couple days is going to have to find a way to backfill that 42% of that budget, and then also provide an additional approximately what is being estimated now at about 1.27% COLA for the 24-25 budget year. These are just projections. You may have read, I'm sure you read in the paper, that the state is facing a deficit. And I just want to point out that that deficit is over a 3-year period. And you can see it in this graphic here. So it's in 22-23, 23-24, and 24-25. And I want to point out that the real numbers are in the 22-23 deficit, because that's where we actually have tax returns that came in October and November. The 23-24 and the 24-25 budget returns are still estimates. We're only about halfway through the 23-24 budget year. We haven't even entered into the 24-25 budget year. So that's why I'm saying I think we're not going to really know what situation the state is in until the May revision this year. So let me just go over a couple major bills that were signed into policy that this district will have to implement and is in the process of implementing. All these went into effect January 1. AB 368 from Holden allows you to give priority to certain high school students when they're duly enrolled. AB 358 allows you to forego the Field Act on housing projects. So you can go through your local jurisdiction instead of DSA if you want to. It gives you that choice. AB 607 from CALRA, you're required now to provide the estimated cost of materials for courses so that students know what the cost of the course will be going in. AB 656, this doesn't affect you directly, but I wanted to point it out to you because it authorizes the CSU to offer doctoral degrees that UC does not offer. And I know that Antelope Valley has been one of the leaders in offering baccalaureate degrees at the community college level. And community colleges in general have been running up against opposition from CSU as we try to expand those baccalaureate offerings. And I just think I wanted to point it out that at the same time CSU is fighting us, they're turning around and looking for doctoral authority. AB 789 from Berman simplifies the ability for students to get financial aid and aligns it with federal requirements. AB 1096 Fong authorizes a community college to offer a course in a language other than English. AB 1291 creates the associate degree for transfer pilot project with UC. We've had it for CSU for a number of years. This will fold eventually UC into the mix. AB 1400 creates a financial aid system for students that are transferring from community colleges and going to historically Black colleges and universities, and then sign an affidavit that they'll come back to California when they're done. And then AB 1540 for Fong, from Assemblymember Fong, creates a streamlined approach for AB 540 students to have access to financial aid in California. A couple other issues that came up over the course of the year. There's going to be two audits. One will look at transfer, and we were talking about this earlier today, your president and I, and it's going to look, hopefully, we're hoping that it's not only going to look at how many students transfer from community colleges to UC and CSU, but how many students are transfer ready. Because we get a lot of students transfer ready, but CSU and UC don't necessarily have the capacity always to take all of our students, or they can't take, or our students can't go to the destination of choice because they're place bound. There will also be an audit on the 50% law this year to look at what things maybe should be included in the 50% law that possibly aren't now. Some things are like counselors and librarians. That should probably be a part of the audit as well. Issues for 2024, I already talked a little bit about it, the COLA. This is going to be our #1 priority, is ensuring that last year's COLA is fully funded and that this year's COLA is also fully funded so that you get your purchasing power moving forward. Implementation of the Cal Grant equity framework. There's a new Cal Grant program that was put into law, but it has a trigger and it needs to be funded. I don't anticipate that happening this year. There just isn't the money there. But it would be a great change for community college students. It would put a lot more money into the hands of community college students, helping with their access award, things like books, tools, rent, all those ancillary costs that come with going to college. The education facilities bond, which Antelope Valley's done a very good job of in the past, of leveraging your local bonds to pull down state funds. There's two out there, and these will be done rather quickly. One is AB 247 Meritsuchi, which is just community colleges and K-12. The other one, SB 28 Glazer, also includes UC and CSU. We've been supporting the AB 247. It's when you start to include UC and CSU, the amount of funding that goes to community colleges starts to get squeezed out a little bit. This is the bill I wanted to talk about and bring to your attention. The bill hadn't been introduced yet when I sent this PowerPoint down, but it's SB 895, and it will allow up to 15 community colleges to offer baccalaureate degrees in nursing. And this is a game changer. This was the reason we started the baccalaureate movement. And it would start the pilot at 15 over a 5-year period. I would encourage you, as you're speaking with your local members, this comes up, to talk about the need in your region, because we're going to need all the advocacy we can for this to pass. There is money out there for nursing. There was $60 million a year put in the budget last year. With the budget falling under hard times, I'm not sure if this is going to end up in the governor's budget this year. It was a promise from last year to be funded this year, but they're looking at pulling back some things that haven't gone out yet. And this is one of those areas that hasn't gone out yet. Credit for prior learning. The Chancellor's Office has done a lot of work around military work and getting students credit in military. They're looking to expand that into the corporate world and see where students have learned in their jobs, and they might be able to come and get credit for that and move more quickly through their higher education journey. Affordable student housing. This is obviously a big issue for you. You have your plan with the state. This is something we're going to be working on this year. There is money left in the budget for two more projects, about two more projects. The question is, will they pull that money back or will they leave it out there? It really depends how much affordable housing is a priority to the governor. I would argue that you look around and affordable housing is the issue facing the state right now, homelessness and affordable housing. And this is something that can knock both those out with one swoop. Just real quick, politics. What's changing this year? We have a new Senate pro tem, Mike McGuire. He replaces Tony Atkins. They were part of the same group of political allies, so that we don't anticipate a lot of changes in committee memberships and committee chairs on the Senate side. On the Assembly side, the speaker, it was a speaker battle, and the new speaker comes from a different coalition than the old speaker, and they've changed a lot of committee heads. Most notably, the new appropriations chair. The previous one was Chris Holden from Pasadena. The new woman is Buffy Wicks. She's from the Oakland area. And then the new budget chair is Jesse Gabriel from the LA area. He replaces Phil Ting, who is from San Francisco. So those are two of the major changes. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions. I know I went through a lot of information very quickly, but happy to take any questions you might have.
Your microphone needs to be turned on, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Is the problem that we're having with the state budget because they're delaying the taxes until fall? And they did that because of COVID for 1 year. Is that the pattern in the future, that you don't have to pay it in April, you have until fall? Is that going to be the pattern from?
They haven't changed it for this year. You will still have to pay in April as of now.
So that might show more money coming in because of the money's being delayed and you don't really know how much money you have and so forth. That's the problem, part of the budget problem now, isn't it?
That you're exactly right. If we would have known in April, if tax returns would have been due in April like they normally are, we would have known with last year's May revise that we had an issue and we could have fixed it then. Because it was pushed back, we didn't know that we had a problem until now, October, November. You're exactly right.
Okay, you mentioned these facilities bond measures for the community colleges. Am I correct on that?
Correct. It's an so it would be K-12 and community colleges.
Okay, so how would do we apply for that when the bond measure is written, or do we apply if it's passed by the legislature? How do we get involved in that?
Great question. So it needs to be passed by the legislature and signed by the governor, and then it goes to the ballot to be passed by the voters.
Right.
If it's passed by the voters, then your district will apply through the state chancellor's office for funds to pull down to use on facilities at your district. And this district in the past has successfully pulled down funding for facilities on previous statewide bonds.
And the local taxpayers will not have to pay the interest on those bonds because they're state bonds, right?
Those are state bonds.
Right.
So it would come out of general fund.
Okay, and one last thing. You had some bills introduced by Assemblyman Fong. Isn't he chair of the Education Committee?
He's chair of the Higher Education Committee, and he has not changed. So he will stay the same this year.
Okay, now he's running for Congress. You know that. He's running for Kevin McCarthy's seat.
There's two Fongs.
Okay, is this
So that is Mike Fong from Los Angeles,
uh-huh.
who is chair of the Higher Education Committee.
Okay. And he's
And you're talking about Vince Fong
right.
from Bakersfield, He's the one running for McCarty.
Okay,
For
which
McCarty's.
Fong introduced these bills?
Good question. It was Mike Fong.
Okay, so, but the Fong from Los Angeles was on the Community College District Board in Los Angeles before he elevated, so, you know,
Correct.
he's kind of sympathetic to our plight, I guess.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me down. I always appreciate it.
All right, now we're to the consent agenda.
Second.
Call for the vote.
Discussion.
Oh, discussion? Sorry.
Student trustee Rivera,
I approve.
trustee Gaines, trustee Reeves, trustee Buffalo, trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Right. 14.2, consideration of California Community College Trustees Board Election 2024.
There are 3 vacancies on the CCCT board, and so our Board of Trustees has an opportunity to nominate or self-nominate someone to participate on this board, and this would be the opportunity for the board to select that nominee and forward the name.
All right, board members, so do we have any considerations for this?
I'd like to nominate trustee Gaines.
I will accept that, but I highly unlikely I'll get elected, but sure.
We'll call the vote.
Student trustee Rivera,
I approve.
trustee Gaines. Yes. Trustee Reeves.
Yes.
Trustee Buffalo, trustee Harvey.
Yes.
Passes.
14.3, approval of agreement between Adams, Dirk, and Kemistan, ADK, and Antelope Valley Community College District for professional legal services relating to a Title IX complaint. May I have the motion?
So move.
Discussion?
Yes, Madam. Concerns. We're continuing to have to get outside counsel for Title IX complaints. Why can't our in-house counsel handle this? Why do we have to continually hire outside counsel?
Yeah. Trustee Reeves, I addressed this at the last board meeting, but on your request, I'll address it again. Title IX provides protections for complainants and respondents. And there is a process that is related to the Title IX regulations that are in conflict with my role as the general counsel for the college. My job is to protect the institution as a whole at all costs. That's who I represent, the college. So because I have an interest in protecting the college, I would not be considered a neutral or fair and impartial to people who may have complaints against one another and possibly against the college. I can't wear all those hats. It's inappropriate. It's what's called a conflict of interest. And I know that you're familiar with the conflict of interest code as it relates to your role as a board member. Well, the same thing applies to me as legal counsel. I can't wear multiple hats. I can't listen to a complaint that's made against another individual that also has implications against the college and be fair and impartial. I'm not neutral because my job is to protect the institution. So if you'd like me to spend more time, and I can give you some specific examples, it's not fair to take the board's meeting up and give you specifics, but that's it in a nutshell. It's a conflict of interest for me to claim to be fair and impartial, partial and neutral in addressing a complaint when I know that my role is to protect this public entity.
Thank you, Ms. Cook. Is there further discussion?
Yes, Madam President. Now, I'm sure that other community colleges have Title IX problems they have to get outside. In the future consideration, maybe a consortium of colleges could hire someone to handle it for a group of colleges. That's something that we could think about. Instead of us having to always hire outside counsel, there would be this consortium of colleges that would have an attorney on Title IX. That's just for the board's future consideration.
Well, and the same thing would be true for that attorney. They cannot be fair and impartial if they are representing a particular public entity. Title IX is a different animal. They're going to be, we're anticipating changes to the regulations at any time. The challenge is there are many rights afforded to both the petitioners and the respondents, which are not congruent with the role of the attorney, whether it's an in-house attorney or outside attorney.
Well, I can't believe that there's not a way that we can get around having to spend this money continuously for Title IX attorneys.
I actually, sir, I'm sorry, Ms. Harvey, but I will reach out to you and I'll go through the process with you. I'll review the board policy 3433, 3434 with you so that you can understand all the role players. And I can't wear all the hats. I just can't.
Thank you very much.
Is there any further discussion? A call for the vote.
Student trustee Carroll,
I approve.
trustee Gaines, trustee Reeves,
No.
trustee Buffalo, trustee Harvey.
Yes. 14.4, approval of agreement with CWDL Certified Public Accountants for Employee Retention Tax Credit ERTC analysis. May I have a motion? Discussion? The vote, Patty?
Trustee Rivera,
I approve.
trustee Gaines, trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo, trustee Harvey.
Yes. 14.5, approval of the affiliation agreement between Antelope Valley Lung and Sleep Institute and Antelope Valley College from January 1st of 2024 through January 1st of 2025. May I have a motion? Discussion?
Yes. I don't understand why we're going to have an agreement with Lung and Sleep Institute. Is this because students sleep in classes or what?
I believe, trustee Reeves, it is for respiratory therapists
Okay.
to be able to have a professional setting to learn the skills that they need to be successful.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Student trustee Rivera,
I approve.
trustee Gaines, trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo, trustee Harvey.
Yes. 14.6, approval of field contract between First Fire Systems and Antelope Valley College for annual testing and inspection of the fire and sprinkler system. May I have a motion? Discussion? The vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
I approve.
trustee Gaines, trustee Reeves,
Aye.
trustee Buffalo, trustee Harvey.
Yes. 14.7, approval to utilize the Sourcewell Precor Inc. cooperative agreement with Outfit for the purchase of fitness equipment. May I have a motion?
So move.
Discussion? The vote?
Student trustee Rivera,
I approve.
trustee Gaines,
Approve.
Trustee Reeves.
Aye.
Trustee Buffalo. Trustee Harvey.
Yes. 14.8, approval to utilize the Foundation for California Community Colleges agreement with Optimum Technologies LLC for the purchase of tuberculosis compliance and student recruiting and onboarding services as needed. May I have a motion?
So move.
Discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Student Trustee Rivera.
I approve.
Trustee Gaines.
Approve.
Trustee Reeves. Trustee Buffalo. Trustee Harvey.
Yeah. 14
Trustee
point,
Buffalo, can I remind you to turn your mic on? Thing, your microphone's not picking.
approval, 14.9 is approval to utilize the Foundation for California Community Colleges agreement with Automatic PBC for the purchase of recruitment and enrollment services. I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Call for the vote.
Student Trustee Rivera.
I approve.
Trustee Gaines.
Approve.
Trustee Reeves.
Aye.
Trustee Buffalo. Trustee Harvey.
Yes. 1410, approval to extend the use of the Foundation for California Community Colleges Master Agreement CB 208-17 with BioKey International Inc., formerly Crystal Star Inc., through January 3rd, 2026. May I have a motion?
Second.
Discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Student Trustee Rivera.
I approve.
Trustee Gaines.
Approve.
Trustee Reeves.
Aye.
Trustee Buffalo. Trustee Harvey.
Yes. 14.11, approval to extend the Foundation for California Community Colleges Master Agreement with Ladero Medical Corporation. May I have a motion?
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, madam. I looked this up, on the agenda, and the only supplementary material I could find is a letter, for a master services agreement. I'm puzzled what this, agreement is with this medical corporation. What is this about? Is this for healthcare for students or training or what?
I apologize, I didn't have my computer on, so Dean Foreman will.
That's quite all right. The Laerdal Corporation is the manufacturer and provides support, both technical and for parts, for the mannequins used in multiple nursing, respiratory, and rad tech labs.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Student Trustee Rivera.
I approve.
Trustee Gaines.
Approve.
Trustee Reeves.
Aye.
Trustee Buffalo. Trustee Harvey.
12 is approval of amendment number 1 to extend the agreement with First Class Vending Inc. through December 31st, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Call for the vote.
Student Trustee Rivera.
I approve.
Trustee Gaines.
Approve.
Trustee Reeves.
Aye.
Trustee Buffalo.
Yes.
Trustee Harvey.
Yes. 1413, approval of amendment number 1 to the 2023-2024 services agreement with Life Signs, now DBA Life Signs Inc., to provide sign language interpreting services. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes. Students that graduate from our college with depth studies are could be hired for some of these interpreting services. Just a comment for future reference. Thank you.
I'll call for the vote.
Student Trustee Rivera.
I approve.
Trustee Gaines,
Approve.
Trustee Reeves,
Aye.
Trustee Buffalo, Trustee Harvey.
Yes. 14.14, approval of sub-award notification of Strong Workforce Program Regional Funds for 2023-2024 Round 8 from California Community Colleges Chancellor's Office, Santa Barbara Community College District. May I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second?
Discussion? Call for the vote.
Student Trustee Rivera,
I approve.
Trustee Gaines,
Approve.
Trustee Reeves,
Aye.
Trustee Buffalo, Trustee Harvey.
Yes. All right, 14.15, approval to administering the University of Texas at Austin Survey, CCSSE, add on online race, ethnicity, and faculty surveys of student engagement during the spring 2024 semester. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Student Trustee Rivera,
I approve.
Trustee Gaines,
Approve.
Trustee Reeves,
Aye.
Trustee Buffalo, Trustee Harvey.
Yes. 14.16 is approval to utilize the Arbor Union School District piggyback agreement with Sierra School Equipment for the district's furniture needs. May I have a motion?
Second?
Discussion? Call for the vote.
Student Trustee Rivera,
I approve.
Trustee Gaines,
Approve.
Trustee Reeves,
Aye.
Trustee Buffalo, Trustee Harvey.
Yes. Trustees, if it's okay, 14.17 through 21, I would like to group together because they are all dealing with Measure AB funds. May I have a motion?
Move approval of 14.
Second?
Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. I would like 14.18. This is about materials necessary to complete the work in the AV College Student Services building. Now, we discussed it before. I'm not sure. Do we incur new costs with this, or did we have an agreement in a prior meeting that they were going to assume responsibility? How?
That is correct. We filed a claim with SOAP and we are reimbursed for that amount. And so now we are, through that reimbursement, paying for these services.
Thank you very much.
Any further discussion? I'll call for the
Mr. Reeves, can you make sure that you're speaking into the microphone? The interpreter's having difficulty hearing you from time to time.
Student Trustee Rivera,
I approve.
Trustee Gaines,
approve
Trustee Reeves,
Aye.
Trustee Buffalo,
Yes.
Trustee Harvey.
to 15, reports and announcement. 15.1 is academic. Paul Hudson.
Good evening, trustees, President Zealot, Ms. McClure, Ms. Cook. Happy New Year. I'm very happy to report, of course, that we started our semester today, and I think President Zealot is going to tell us about some improvements on enrollment, and so we're very excited, and I know faculty and all the rest of our employees are working hard to serve our students. In December, I spoke to you about the preciousness and the fragility of our community, and I wanted to tell you that I had a great example of the sort of strength of our community and the value of it. When on opening day, on Friday, where we typically have lots of professional development, I offered a session related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and to continue that discussion, which we began in the fall. And as you might imagine, there's lots of different views and strong opinions, but I was really, really encouraged because we had a great, very civil and respectful discussion in which people did not always agree, but that we could all say what we needed to say. I was really happy that you voted as you did, and item 14.1, because I think that also represents the ability of our community to do what they need to do and be individuals of conscience. That's what we continue to be. I think, we can continue to be the great college that we are. And I really, again, appreciate your continued support of that principle. Thank you, and I look forward to a great year.
Thank you. 15.2, Antelope Valley College Federation of Teachers, Dr. Jason Bowen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board, and thank you for your work, especially tonight. First of all, welcome back. Happy New Year. I hope everyone enjoyed holiday break. It was much too short for me, but there is work to be done. So, and I'm actually today, it's remarkable in that as soon as this morning began, which was 6 a.m., it was full on. So anyway, currently, the faculty union, we have two matters at the level of mediation. And my hope is that we can resolve those matters as soon as possible and as fairly as possible. It's my opinion that there are contract matters that are fairly clear cut, and yet the district continues to, in my opinion, violate those stipulations in the contract. I'll give you an example, and I've said this repeatedly. This is one issue, and it's a fairly simple issue. There's the practice of the college that no more than 50% of a full-time load can be online. In the distance ed article, this is Article 17, Section 4.0, it very clearly says that the proportion of online instruction is to be agreed upon between the faculty member and the dean. That's what it says. So, we still have this matter where there are issues that are fairly clear cut. There are more complicated matters, but let's leave most of the work to the more complicated matters and not complicate simpler matters. My hope is that we'll get to that point. Now, with that said, we have, another serious matter that we discussed this morning. HR was present, and I was actually fairly surprised at that particular meeting. So I had my expectations going into that meeting this morning. And what I saw was, one, a very positive meeting. It was tough at moments, but that's to be expected when you're engaged in those discussions. But there was fair discussion, fair acknowledgement of different points, requests. There was some debate, and all around it was a very positive meeting. And I had seen such a meeting in the prior semester in fall, where HR was present, there were deans present, and I went into that meeting expecting one thing, and then it turned out to be a very fair meeting, where the intentions that were stated, that's what I saw. So the statement going into the meeting was, this is going to be a meeting where we work to ensure the faculty member has everything they need to do their job to the best of their ability. And that's what happened. And this morning, I just want to say thank you to Dr. Helsper for the morning. Thank you.
15 point College Federation of Classified Employees. Board is not here. There's someone who 15.4 Confidential Management Supervisory Administrator Employees. Ashley Hawkins.
Evening. I'll be brief. I just wanted to welcome everybody back. I hope you enjoyed your break and time with your loved ones. We're really excited to kick off the semester today. Campus was eerily quiet last week and really not quiet today. So it was really, really pleasant to interact with students and help them find their classes and all of the things that we've been doing for quite some time now. The CMSA group is looking forward to the new year and new opportunities to be positive influences on our students. Have a good night.
Associated Student Organization, Mr. Vivian.
Good evening, board. Happy New Year's. And today ASO is officially back in the hub with great praise. We actually started planning for Club Rush next week, and I actually have everything written down. I told Patty I didn't have off the cuff, and I just sent the email. I'm happy to say that ASO is planning for Club Rush on January 16, 17. We're going to start at 10 to 2 and have a promotion of our ASO elections coming in, and a few opportunity drawings and a Marauders Matter sign up. And Marauders Matter, we're going to do a few workshops, and I'm going to be hosting a conflict resolution in leadership. When it comes to leadership, you're met with ideals and how do you stay neutral in high press situation. My background, I had a 5 to 6 in social work, so being patient and analyzing the situation is one of my skill sets. So I'm happy to do that. A few of our centers are going to do time management and prioritization, and also effective communication skills too. So we're just putting what we learned in our last semester, going to San Francisco in our conference for leadership training. So yeah, I'm very excited to say that this Marauders Matter, which is going to be February the 2nd, we're going to have maybe a sign up at Club Rush so we could get maybe 80, maybe 100. Hopefully it's 100, because I would like to make an impact on our campus and show students what leadership and advocacy is about. But besides that, we're just gearing up for more things to come in the semester. And again, happy holidays, and thank you.
Thank you. Antelope Valley College Foundation, Diane Knipple. Okay, 15.7, Office of the Superintendent President, Dr. Zell.
Thank you, Trustee Harvey. Before I begin my prepared comments to our campus members, our students, I would like to refer you back to the campus email I sent on Tuesday, the 10th of October, about, and it's entitled Awareness of Impacts of Hamas and Israeli War. And I would like for you, if you're curious, how the Office of the President approaches these conversations, please go back to that email and look. As far as I am concerned, students are my politics. What the students of this campus need are what the positions that will dictate the positions that I take. And the email says many things, but it acknowledges that situations like this bring up fear and anxiety, not just for students and employees of particular ethnic groups and backgrounds, but also for our veteran students who have participated in war situations, and this can be traumatic for them as well. And the closing paragraph says, if we want to know what fights fear and anger, that's perfect love and kindness. Let's pull together with genuine care for each other like never before, knowing that we may never be aware how that love and kindness changes someone's path. When we encounter one another on this campus, grace, kindness, empathy should be our guide. The other disagreements can be handled at another. So Happy New Year, board, and welcome to spring 2024 semester. I would like to mark the historical nature of tonight's meeting. January 8th, 2024 marks the first full board meeting led by an Antelope Valley Community College Board president who is an African-American woman. I am so grateful for Trustee Harvey's leadership and the expertise that she brings to this position. And I know that the district will benefit from her leadership. Thank you, President Harvey, for your commitment and for your service. Spring 2024, like other semesters, offers the opportunity for new beginnings, changes, improvements, and renewed efforts. And as we begin this semester, here are some of the things that we're working on. You mentioned enrollments. Thank you. I want to start with a thank you to the classified professionals and counseling faculty who worked past typical hours last Friday, offering access to enrollment for our prospective students before our first day of classes today. Your commitment is making a difference in each student's life who is able to make another step toward their goal. So let's compare this spring with last spring. FTES from last spring at census date, or this date last year, 3,241 FTES. This year, 3,872. That's an increase of 631 FTES, spring over spring. Our head count, this is impressive. The numbers will change, but 9,508 last year, 11,703 so far this year. That's over 2,000 students. So this is testimony to the hard work of everyone on this campus, from every office, every chair. We are reaching out to our community and it's making a difference. So thank you. Second thing, facilities. We're back in the hub and we're back in the administration building. There are some finishing touches being made, particularly in the admin building, but I want to thank Vice President Brar, Mr. Ron Benedetti, and Mr. Noe Flores for diligently working on these projects and seeing them through to completion. We couldn't have made the moves without all of the classified professionals and facilities and IT helping as well, and HR. It was a Herculean task to organize all of these things, and we're greatly appreciative of all of your dedication. Thank you for getting us back to our rightful spaces, and thank you for the spirit in which you accomplish your work. Equity work. Today, we brought on a new interim director of equity, and he's here tonight, Mr. Alberto Mendoza Gonzalez Larrenaga. Alberto is here. He will be reporting directly to the president's office, and together we will be working on silo busting efforts to ensure that the equity work at Antelope Valley College continues strong and successful, permeating all of the campus. More news to come on this front, but for now, when you see Alberto, congratulate him and support him in this transition. I will send email communication about other items of business, but tonight I want to close my comments with a moment of silence for the loss of one of our student athletes, a baseball teammate, Justin Sullen. Over the weekend, he lost his life and he is already sorely missed by his family, by his teammates, and by the campus community. However you communicate with the universe, whether through prayer or meditation, please take a few moments right now to hold him, his family, his team, his coaches, in thoughts of love and healing. Please join me in a moment of silence. May you rest in peace, Justin. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sal. We're now to board member comments, and we're going to start with our student trust.
Well, Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back. As relaxing and rejuvenating our break was, I've got to say, it feels good to be back. And I look forward to the rest of the spring semester, making new memories, and of course, reiterating the words of our president, new growth, and new opportunities to make memories. So thank you guys, and I'm happy to see you guys back out there on campus.
Thank you so much. Barbara Gaines.
I too want to say welcome back to everyone. And I love the increase in numbers. That is so good to see, and really means that everything that our faculty, everything that our staff is doing, everything that we're doing to inform this community, what a great place this is. This is Antelope Valley Community College. I think it's working. Everything you're doing, Dr. Sullett, thank you for that. a campus is just a campus of empty buildings without these students and without our staff. And I happened to drive by today, and it was so good to see the hustle and bustle again on campus, and people trying to get out and get into the parking lots. And it really it just uplifted my whole spirit for the day. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. You're doing an amazing job. And I just wish you a great second semester. Thank you.
Mike Reed.
I want to wish everybody a happy new year and express my condolences to the family of Justin. You know, in the coming year, we're going to have conflicts, we're going to have discussion, but let's always remember that we're human beings and it doesn't hurt to love one another. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. Steve Buffalo, please, let's hear your comment.
Okay, Michelle, first of all, I'd like to say that you handled that very well tonight. All the years I've been on this board, I've never seen that ever occur here where people engage like that. That was incredibly unfortunate. I was not a board member when they drugged one of the faculty members out of the police, campus police, and that was a altogether interesting subject, and that was Earl Welton, board president, and he requested that. So anyway, you handled that very well. I did want to comment on that, and I felt like something that is this controversial needs a comment. And because after the Valley Press ran their story, a number of people contacted me and said, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And to put it very clearly, I have no doubt Hamas is a terrorist organization. The U.S. government lists them as such, so I'm not going to deny that. But when I looked at this request, it isn't part of the mission of the college. This is not part of our mission. It's not part of our educational mission to become involved in this. And it's similar back in the day to the Vietnam War when the student body here took and put out a resolution, as did all the community colleges in the state and the state organization opposing the war. The board didn't do that. It wasn't part of their mission. And so I think that pretty much determined it, and that's what I told people. It's just not part of our mission. So I think we have to move on. It's unfortunate that that occurred. It's unfortunate that people acted like that. I don't appreciate it. I mean, everybody gets their say and should get their say uninterrupted. And that's the way it works here. So that's what we're all about, and we just have to move on, because one of the other things that I was concerned about is somebody else coming down and saying, "Hey, we got this, we want you to support this." Well, that's not part of the college mission either, and it opens up the door for all kinds of people to make all kinds of requests. So I wanted to explain that. I think it was important because it's so controversial, and I'm glad we're reopened. I'm glad students are out on campus, and it is invigorating to walk across the campus and see all the activity.
Thank you so much, Mr. Buffalo. I appreciate that. Before I came into the board meeting tonight, I stopped in CVS to buy this beautiful little walking stick because the one I had broke. And the girl was checking me out. She said, "What job do you have at college?" And I said, "Oh boy, here we go. I'm a board member." And she said, "Well, I just wanted to tell you what a great experience I had with financial aid." And she went on telling me about how she was able to complete her spring semester ahead of time, and she received her financial aid. And I was just really proud of her. I want to remind everyone that we are a learning institution, and that here we have all types of students and we support them all. This board is a nonpartisan board. It is the makeup of this board and its board president. My expectation is that at all times when we speak, that we are respectful of each other. I know that everyone has opinions. This is a public forum, and as board president, I am inviting you to please feel free to participate, but know that that comes with a responsibility.
or behavior. So with that, we will see you at our board meeting in February, and we are adjourned.